Look at me, I got my snobby turtleneck on, so it's clear we're talking indie games today. We all know your Baldur's Gate 3s and your Tears of the Kingdom, but today it's time to show some love to the little guys that often get overshadowed by that big old AAA canopy. And look, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that 2023 might be one of the biggest years in gaming ever, so let's go ahead and bust open the catalog and have a look at my 15 favorite indie games from this year so far. In no particular order, mind you. And I say in no particular order because we're starting with Dave the Diver, a game that's put most AAAs in the shame corner. It follows our good old slightly rotund chap Dave as he spends his days scuba diving around the ever-eventful Blue Hole. During the day, he does the usual scuba diver activities, exploring, catching fish, fighting krakens, sinking down to the lightless, smothering abyssal reaches, and then shrugging it all off to work a sushi restaurant management gig at night. So the next time you feel lazy, look to the legend Dave for inspiration. This one's a neat combination of a story-driven action-adventure game and a cozy management sim. Monster collecting, Pokemon nostalgia, co-op fun, and retro technology, Cassette Beasts really has it all. After washing up face first on the shores of a remote island inhabited by strange creatures, you are tasked with using advanced video game bullshit science channeled via cassette tapes to record and battle the beasts that are giving the residents trouble. This gives way to incredible turn-based battles in this open-world RPG. It's a genuinely polished game with solid reimagined tropes, such as a chemistry-based elemental weakness system and a wild combination mechanic to deepen the pool of monsters. Not that there's any shortage of them. Oh, and you can do it all in two-player local co-op, which just makes it even better. The open ocean is full of many feelings: adventure, wonder, freedom, fear, anxiety, terror, and Dredge manages to capture it all in a bottle. Somehow balancing horror and comfort on a knife's edge, this fishing adventure begins when you total your boat on rocks that appeared out of nowhere, causing you to become indebted to the mayor of a nearby small town for the repair costs incurred. Now entangled in a net of machinations beyond your own making, this adventure will see you traveling ancient isles to uncover the mysteries beneath the waves, if you're brave enough to leave the safety of your harbor, that is. And I love fishing games, so it's on this list. Killer Frequency is as equally tense as it is enjoyable. After traveling to a small town, you play as a late-night radio host who quickly becomes involved in the town's mysterious murderous past. Pulling double duty between playing banging tunes and being a 911 stand-in, you'll constantly be attempting to save the Gallows Creek citizens from a Michael Myers copycat whilst in the safety of your own recording studio. Or if you're like me, you'll probably end up helping the killer more than his possible victims. Anyway, if you want a solid investigative mystery with some light horror, this one right here. When games cold release and burst onto the scene out of absolutely nowhere like Hi-Fi Rush, it's a damn blessing. This one is a gorgeous looking rhythm-based fighter that follows along with Chai, who's been labeled as defective by an evil megacorporation. But this wannabe rock star ain't gonna take it lying down as he turns his guitar from an instrument of music to a tool of violence. Rhythm is everything in this game as you'll be bashing along to the beat, not to mention the boss battles are top tier and it's basically devil-made dance, and best of all, it's on the Game Pass for free, so get to it. Shadows of Doubt is, without a doubt, one of those genuinely unique games that tickle your inner little detective because it's an entirely procedurally generated investigative heaven. It generates a dense neon-soaked cyber city block populated by detailed randomized individuals that may or may not have a tendency to murder one another. Which is great for you as a detective, it's really steady pay for your pockets. You'll need to work out who done did the unaliving of whichever sorry chap is on the receiving end of the game's murder roulette wheel. Legend has it if you play one save long enough, you'll probably be the only one left in the entire city. I don't know what they put in the water there, but it's about as murderous as ancient Rome or modern day America. Much like time, this game is all about moving forward no matter what, so let me show you MEATGRINDER. This one's a fast-paced, frantic first-person shooter that features combat atop of moving vehicles. The catch, you ask? Well, you have to keep moving because if your heart drops below a certain rate, you die, so you best get hopping, grappling, and parkouring through this chaotic circus. It's like Cluster Truck got bloody and met the movie Crank, and oh boy, just like that movie, it's a roller coaster. Roguelites are a dime a dozen in this day and age, but Have a Nice Death just twiddles the joysticks of my soul a tiny bit better than the rest. After the workers of Death Inc. have decided to run rampant and destroy the balance of souls, Grimm himself must do the totally standard sanctioned workplace practice of beating the absolute hell out of his wayward employees to correct the order of things. It's a quick, smooth, and gorgeous 2D action roguelite where you play as the Reaper, who's been stuck in a monotonous office gig for the last long while. And now it's finally time to let loose with your scythe in hand. Just don't try these HR methods in the real world. You'll probably end up in jail. Or hell. Maybe this sounds crazy, but look, this game is about being an ethereal, godly, glowing white Shiba Inu that commands the mindless populace of bipedal walking flesh bags to complete puzzles. It's called Humanity, and any game where you get to be a godly dog should be worth looking at. It's a puzzle game with light platforming elements that sees you commanding hordes of people with commands. Ah, how the tables have turned. Neat gameplay, a very weird premise, and a really interesting narrative, so get your paws on it. Bramble the Mountain King is one for the lovers of games such as Little Nightmares. It's an admittedly grim story experience inspired by the dark Nordic fables that will have you transversing the twisted lands of Bramble to save your sister, who was troll-napped. If you're somewhat versed in fables and folklores, this is one you can't miss. It has nods to many a tale and offers relatively light core gameplay, which works wonders in its favor as it lets you soak in the discomfort of its oppressing nature. Combine platforming, 90s cartoons, Wario Land, and a surprisingly agile, powerful, fat, balding Italian small business owner together, and you get Pizza Tower. Seriously, how the hell did this game pull off Sonic better than bloody Sonic? Peppino Spaghetti is a dedicated small business owner and an absolute freakish whirlwind of destruction as you sit on the W key in a slick, greasy, incredibly quick platforming adventure to destroy the Pizza Tower and save his restaurant from annihilation. Remind me to never anger anyone that owns a pizza restaurant ever again. If you ever wondered what it'd be like combining platform fighters like Super Smash Bros. Together with something like Hades, you should absolutely check out SPIRITFALL. It combines the super tight combat of the usual 2D fighter, along with nimble movement and roguelike mechanics, into one experience full of smashing, slashing, and splatting. True to the nature of the game, it offers a good challenge, along with a wide arsenal of weapons and divine blessings to smite anything that dares exist in the line of sight. The developers also show a high level of care, constantly updating the game, which is a big up in my books. Following on with another roguelite, which is absolutely the new battle royale at this point, it seems. VOIDIGO is another excellent, colorful, and co-op friendly roguelite you should absolutely pick up. This vibrant, animated indie dungeon crawler offers a twist on the standard formula by having the bosses be found around the map rather than in their own standard encounter rooms. This gives way to boss hunting and the option to pursue it through the levels or take a breather, but wait long enough and you'll be the one that gets hunted. VOIDIGO offers a really enjoyable time with some genre twists, along with the ability to play it all in local co-op, which is a good enough reason to make this list alone. If you're in the market for a mind bender, then look no further than VIEWFINDER. This game is all about distorting reality through the lens of an instant camera. You'll be taking happy snaps and then bringing them to life by placing those formerly 2D pictures into the world and watching the magic happen. It's a game all about perception puzzles and the creative thinking you need to overcome them. If you're a fan of puzzlers, turning your brain to mush, or just insane visuals, this is one that should absolutely be on your cards. It's been a good while, but it's finally time to commit good old sins against the church once again, for the penitent one has reawakened in Blasphemous 2. If Hollow Knight and Bloodborne got into bed together and popped out a love child, you'd end up with this Catholic-vania game. It has a gorgeous pixel art style, a truly grim world, and a very smooth gameplay loop, and I'm happy to see a sequel as the first game is bloody excellent, and this one follows suit, with the emphasis on bloody. It's kind of disturbing at times, but if you're in Silksong Purgatory, it's 100% worth your time and money, so get sitting and bring down the miracle, I say. The original Darkest Dungeon and me had a somewhat friendly blood feud going on. It's a game that I really have a love-hate relationship with. It's a turn-based roguelite game all about the psychological burdens of adventuring that you should absolutely play if you like the pain of you and your lovely adventurous party getting systematically devoured and picked apart by the game's mental warfare. It's excellent, dark, and often defeating, but that's just what makes a damn good roguelike in this day and age, isn't it? It also gets big bonuses in the style category because it just looks great. There are quite a few titles that could have made this list, but this is a list of my 15 favorite indies of this year. I like being yelled at, but maybe compliment the video and leave a like or a subscription. Anyway, I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Fizz, your local game dealer. Catch you soon.